underrated is not a word I would use to describe Star Wars Squadrons. Launch reviews were actually really positive for this game, but I would describe this game as underappreciated. After the microtransaction-filled pay-to-win debacle that was Star Wars Battlefront 2, this was another opportunity for EA to destroy another great game with the exact same strategy. But that didn't happen. In fact, there are no microtransactions at all, and those are W's we need to appreciate and continue to push for in the gaming landscape today. Welcome to completion number 20 of the Potato Backlog Project. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video for the Tater Raider, and let's talk about Star Wars Squadrons. Released in 2020 to what felt like very little fanfare, Star Wars Squadrons is essentially a Star Wars battle flight sim game. It released with cross-platform multiplayer support, a single-player story campaign clocking in at around 8 hours, no microtransactions, and it wasn't even a full-price game at launch. I think fans and gamers were weary and cautious when this game came out. Not everybody was all about throwing their support behind the game because of what had happened with 2017's Battlefront 2, and rightfully so. That could have been an incredible game for a really long time. The single-player story mode here unfortunately does not have a co-op option, which would have been really nice. It puts you on both sides of a conflict between the New Republic and the remnants of the Empire. While not the most incredible story, there was enough there to keep me engaged and interested throughout the missions, including a couple cool cameo character appearances, which is always fun in the Star Wars universe. Having the opportunity to fly both New Republic and Imperial missions is very cool. From X-Wings to TIE Bombers, the ship offerings aren't super plentiful here. There are 4 or 5 ship types available for each side. Each ship feels unique and has its own strengths and weaknesses. I do wish all the missions allowed you to choose whatever fighter you wanted to use for them, more in line with what the old Rogue Squadron games did, or at the very least make that an unlockable option after your first playthrough. There are a couple of missions that allow it, but a little more freedom of choice overall throughout the main story would have been nice. Squadrons does a really great job of giving players of all skill levels options to enjoy the game. If you like more realistic simulation type games, it has lots of extra stuff to up the immersion for you, balancing power between different ship systems, commanding your squadron to help you complete your tasks more efficiently. You can even turn off the heads-up display and play using just the instruments in the cockpit. Visually, this game is beautiful. Great lighting effects and realistic wear and tear on equipment give it that lived-in Star Wars look and feel. The mission backdrops and locations look great as well, keeping things interesting to look at while you battle through space. If you do give this game a go, make sure you play with headphones on, as the sound design is nothing short of outstanding. The quality is off the charts and really helps pull the entire experience together. This game has VR options for both the PC and the PlayStation 4 versions, which I wish I had the opportunity to try out. This is the perfect style of game for VR. Most kids that love Star Wars growing up always dreamed of flying X-Wings and TIE Fighters, and this is as close to that experience as you can currently get. Multiplayer has 2 modes in dogfight and fleet battles. Unfortunately, 3 years on, it seems to be a pretty sparse landscape with players, so I wasn't able to actually try it out. You could, however, get groups together for custom matches or group up to face AI in fleet battles. There's also a practice mode where you can spawn AI enemy squadrons at will, among other things, and mess around in there to your heart's content. There are some customization options for your ships and your pilots. You can unlock more options through glory earned from playing the multiplayer. This is basically the in-game currency that could have easily been turned into microtransaction stuff. There isn't a ton here, but it's enough that you can have a little bit of fun with it if you can find multiplayer games to play. This game is currently included with Game Pass Ultimate and is regularly on sale for as cheap as $5 on all platforms. If you like Star Wars or space battle games, it's worth a playthrough for the experience and the story alone. The great visuals and sound really help scratch that itch of wanting to be an X-Wing pilot after watching your favorite Star Wars flick. 3 happy potato faces out of 5. I enjoyed the game, but there just isn't enough lasting power there, unfortunately. Some of the story missions were stretched a little bit thin for me in an obvious effort to fill more time out. I would rather a 5-hour campaign with great pacing and more excitement over tons of downtime and 5 minutes flying between objectives, hearing exposition, just to stretch the gameplay time out. I would have also loved a chance to play some of the multiplayer, but I guess that's the downside of no microtransactions in today's world. No revenue flow, so no additional content or updates. Players also seem to get bored easily and move on to the next game pretty easily these days. I would love to see this quality of flight sim tied to the next Battlefront effort, if there is one, or even see a continuation of the Rogue Squadron series down the line. That would be incredible. 20 games into the backlog and we're still going strong. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support. Be kind to yourselves and others that deserve it. We're on to the next one. Squadrons. 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 What's a squad? No Luke, no Darth Vader, just the hopes and dreams of a tiny band of New Republic aliens. Got the runs, the Squadrons. A singer player. Aye. Sigh. Blah, 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 blah. Cut it.